friends, in a lecture series of thermodynamics or engineering thermodynamics, in which today we are going to start a new chapter named first law of thermodynamics. And today we will see the first law for the change of state as well as first law for the cyclic process. So first we will start with the first law of thermodynamics for cyclic process. For that, let us understand this is an one system, and the system will get energy in the say amount of E in, and will reject the heat to the atmosphere or to the surrounding, say amount of E out. So in this case, the difference between E in say incoming energy and outgoing energy is equal to the change in energy of the system, and that we can denote by a exact differentiation of energy with respect to time. So this is the first law of thermodynamics, say, or it is also called as an energy conservation law or the law of energy conservation, in which we can say the energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, and the energy get the system, it is the difference between the or interaction of heat or energy with the surrounding. So in this case, if we consider the energy interaction just in the form of heat as well as work, then we can say this is the first law we can write in the form of change in heat minus change in W equal to 0, or simply we can say change in heat equal to change in W. So this is the first law of the thermodynamics for the cyclic process. Let's try to understand the first law with the help of an experiment named Joule's experiment, in which one chamber is completely filled with the water as well as it is completely insulated. So there is a no heat interaction between surrounding and a system, and we will apply some mechanical work to the system by a stirrer. So here let's suppose it is one stirrer which is connected by a pulley. Here this is a pulley, and this pulley is one rope is passing over the pulley and from the roller to here, and on the other hand W weight is free to move from up and down, and to measure the temperature, one temperature measuring device called as a thermometer or simply a mercury thermometer is inserted here. So in this experiment, let's try to understand what happened. So at the initial stage, the temperature of the water is T1, that we can measure from the thermometer, and here the initial position, let's say it is Z1. This is the reference level, and from here we can measure this as a Z1. We will apply some mechanical work in the form of rotation of this stirrer, that we can measure with the difference of elevation of this weight. Say, let's say suppose this is the initial position, and this is the final position, and let's suppose it have a height of Z2. Then we can measure W as a mg/dz. So change in the z. So here mg Z1 minus Z2, initial value minus final value. So this will give us the amount of work. So we will supply the amount of work equal to W equal to mg Z2 minus Z1 minus Z2 to the work, and due to this let's suppose the temperature rise will be a T2. So T2 temperature will rise in this case. So the temperature rise will be a T2 minus T1. Now in the second case or second phase of the experiment, let's remove this insulation from all the sides, and what will happen? In this case, after removing of the insulation, the system tries to achieve a thermal equilibrium with the surroundings. So ultimately we can say it will reject the heat from the system to the surrounding, and in this case this process will continue until the system is again achieve original temperature, say T1, which is before at initial stage when before the supplying of the heat, before supplying of the work here. So here total amount, when it reject total amount of heat Q, say then and achieve the temperature T1, let's suppose here when we achieve the temperature T1, then we measure Q as well as W, and by the experiment or number of experiment, Joule has derived that the amount of Q is almost equal to the amount of W. So and another conclusion is this: the amount of work is directly proportional to the Q. And to remove this inequality sign, W is J, and now J is the constant of proportionality of the Joule, constant of proportionality, of Joule. Here the unit of work is Joule and the unit of Q or the heat is a calorie, and Joule is considered as a converging factor of calorie to the work. But in the SI unit system, unit of work and Q both are Joule, so there is no difference, and in this case J will be a 1 Newton into meter in this case. So this is the Joule's experiment to understand the first law of thermodynamics. Before this experiment of the Joule, approximately in 1814 to 1849, the heat or the amount of heat transfer is considered as a invisible fluid, which is responsible to transfer, or temperature difference is the responsible to transfer this invisible fluid, and that is called as a caloric theory of heat. That is considered before on 1814-1890. So this is the first law of thermodynamics and the Joule's experiment. This is considered as the first law of thermodynamics for cyclic process. Why this? So let us understand why it is called for the cyclic process. In the experiment, in the first experiment of the Joule, let's suppose try to explain with the help of a diagram. This is the diagram which indicates any two property, say property y and property x, and this is the initial stage where the temperature is T1, and in this case from process or state number 1 to 2 is achieved when we supply some heat, and it will follow this path, say when we apply some amount of work into the system, and after that from the process 2 to after we remove the insulation, let's suppose this is the experiment in which when we remove the insulation and allow the system to achieve the initial temperature T1 from the T2, from state 2 to state 1. So it will follow this path. Let's say this is the path when it follows Q out. So it will interact the heat from the system to surrounding, and it is from system to surrounding, so it is a Q out, and it is considered as a minus Q, or because it is an heat rejection. So in this case it is an cyclic process from process 1 to 2 and 2 to 1. So in this case when we measure the W in or the W amount into the system, it is approximately equal to the amount of Q out. So when we consider it is a cyclic process, then the cyclic integrals of work, it is equal to the cyclic integral of heat. So this is the first law of thermodynamics for the cyclic process. Now if we try to understand first law of thermodynamics for the change of state. Now we will see the first law of thermodynamics, for a change of state for closed system. For that, let us consider a process with the help of any two properties, say property y and property x. In this case, let's suppose this is the state number 1, and it will execute a process which end at the state number 2 from state number 1. So this is the process number 1, and we call it as a process A. And after achieve state number 2 or equilibrium state number 2, it will execute a process called B to achieve a state number 1 again. So this will constitute A and B constitute a one cycle, and another cycle which again follow the process A from 1 to 2, and in this time it will follow another path, say path C, to achieve a process number to achieve a state number 1. So here we get a two cycle, in which cycle number 1 it consists of two processes A and B, and cycle number 2 consists of two processes A and C to achieve an initial path, and in both the cases the initial state and final state is 1 and 2 respectively. So in this case, if we apply the law of first law of thermodynamics for this two cycle, then we can write this equation as per the law, which is nothing but the cyclic integration of heat. It is equal to cyclic integration of work, sorry, not D, it is delta. So for the cycle, or for the cycle number 1, we can write this equation as change of heat from cycle from the process 1 to 2, say it is equal to 1A to 2A. It follows the path A to achieve a state number 2 for heat interaction delta Q, plus path B, say to achieve state number 1 from the state number 2. So it is a 1B here, and it again it is change is delta Q, and it is equal to change in work. So change in work is 1A to 2A of delta W, plus change of work from 2B to 1B of delta W. So we can say this is the equation number 1 for the cycle A to B. Now we will write the same equation, not same equation, but the equation of first law of thermodynamics for the process 1 to C. In this case, first system undergoes a process A from 1 to 2. So it will be a 1A to 2A for the change of heat, plus 2 to 1. But for this it will follow the cyclic it will follow the process C. So it is 2C to 1C of del Q. It is equal to the integration of 1A to 2A for the change of work, plus change of work for the process C, say 2C to 1C for delta change of W, and we call it as a equation number 2. If we subtract the equation number 2 from the equation number 1, then we get the equation like this. Then we get the equation of this is common, so it will cancel out, and it will achieve integration of 2B to 1B of del Q, minus integration of 2C to 1C of del Q. It is equal to integration of this will cancel out, and we get the equation 2B to 1B of del W minus integration 2C to 1C of del W. So in this case we can write the equation or the same equation as follows. Say if we integrate 1 2b to 1b of del q minus del w, this is just a rearrangement, nothing else. It is equal to integration of twice c to 1c of del q minus del w. So in this case, if you observe completely, then the process undergoes for the two processes, say process B and process C, the value of del q minus del w is the same, besides having a different path. So in this case, we can say the process B and process C, or the value of something that does not depend on the path, but it only depend on the end position or the end state, and that is we call as a energy. That is called as a energy, and we can write the equation del q minus del w. It is called as a any other property dE. Here the difference is because here it is delta and it is d, because this is an exact differentiation and this is inexact differentiation, because here q and work does not depend on a point, but it depend on the path. So these both are as a path function and this is a point function. It does not differ in the value according to the path, but it depends only on the state. So here it is an dE and here it is a dQ, a del Q and del W. Now for the equation here, dE is it's the summation of all type of energy, say kinetic energy plus potential energy plus internal energy. Here the new energy or the new property come into picture is the internal energy. So it is denoted as a kinetic energy, we can measure as a 1/2 mc square. C is the velocity, nothing but as already we have we will use V as a volume, so we will use C for the velocity, plus kinetic energy, it is the mg z, plus internal energy U, or the change in internal energy U. Now this internal energy consists of an internal energy, say molecular energy, magnetic energy, or it is we consider it is an microscopic property of the system, and whereas this both is considered as a macroscopic property of the system. So here in this case, delta E comprises of all type of energy, say kinetic energy plus potential energy and internal energy, or in another terms we can write as a delta E, say change in total energy. It consists of change in kinetic energy, sorry this is not D, change in kinetic energy plus change in potential energy plus change in internal energy U. But in the most of the application, the change in kinetic energy and change of potential energy is generally neglected. So we can write change in total energy is equal to the change in internal energy U. So the first law of thermodynamics here we can write as delta Q minus delta W is equal to du, change in internal energy, and if we rewrite this equation, then it will become del Q equal to du plus del W. So this is the first law of thermodynamics for the change of state for the closed system. This is the first law of thermodynamics for change of state, for the change of state for closed system, change of state for closed system. So here in the conclusion we get a new property of the system, which is called as a internal energy internal energy U, and as it is a internal energy, the unit of is again joule, because it is in a form of energy, or we can say Newton into meter. And if we consider as a specific energy, then specific internal energy, it is a small u, it is nothing but the ratio of u divided by mass, and the unit of is Newton into meter per kg. So this is the internal energy or we get another type of energy or another property as a conclusion of first law of thermodynamics. So this is the first law of thermodynamics for the system undergoing a cyclic process or undergoing a change of state. Thank you, friends. Now we will learn something about work, or specifically thinking work, say thermodynamic work. Thermodynamic work. So it is a little bit different what we are studying or what we have studied in the school level. Simply what we have studied at school from the school which is work is nothing but the displacement times the force. Here the force is the responsible or for this displacement, or we can say the amount of this force times the displacement. But here in the thermodynamic definition of the work, it is a little bit different than this regular definition. Here the definition is work is done by a system. Work is done by a system if the sole effect on the surrounding could be that of a rising of a weight. So let's try to understand what this definition says. Work is done by a system if the sole effect is the most important word here, the net effect on the surrounding could be that. So it could be not exactly or it may occur every time. It could be that of the rising of a weight. So sometimes the sole effect may be rising of a weight, or sometimes it may be different. But what is tried to say, let's understand with the figure. Say this is the one system, and this system we will apply some form of work by a some weight. Say here this is a spring, and here the W weight is hanging at the end of this string. Here if we allow this weight to move freely, then it will go downward. But when we apply some force in the reverse direction, then if the string will wound on this steering end, the weight will rise accordingly. So in this case, what we can say here, here we can calculate the work, say m times acceleration, and here acceleration is due to gravity, so here g. So this is the amount of weight. It is an weight in the downward direction. When we want to rise, we have to apply this much amount of work against the gravitational force, So here what is the amount of work? Amount of work is nothing but the force times distance. But what is force? Force is not the regular this force, but here the force is a resisting force times a distance. So this is the difference between thermodynamic work as well as regular terms of the work. Here the responsible force is the resisting force, which is here again we can say it is an gravitational force. So here what we have done, work against the gravitational force. So this is the work or the thermodynamic work that we can understand with the help of an example. If there is a no resisting force, that will be no work done. Let's understand this is the chamber, and this chamber is divided into two parts by a portion. Here in this portion gas of a certain pressure and certain temperature is filled, and here this is a vacuum condition. So in this case our boundary or the system boundary is up to this much only, and after some time as we puncture this membrane, so we will allow this gas to expand into the whole chamber, and what will happen after some time, the whole gas, say this is the puncture, the whole gas is consume whole volume. So in this case our boundary work will here. So in this case no work will done besides the change of boundary. Here the boundary is changing from half volume to the complete volume, but there is a no work done. Why? Because there is a no resisting force to overcome for the system. Here if as it is already a vacuum, and when we puncture this membrane, the gas is easily flow through the from this chamber, say chamber A to chamber B, and it comprises the whole volume. So in this case without resisting force there will be a no work done here. So here the F resisting force is 0, and ultimately work done is also 0. So in the thermodynamic work the resisting force is the important force. If there is a no resistance, then there will be a no work done. So in this case types of work is there are lots of type of work we will consider during the study of the thermodynamics, in which very first is the displacement work, or simply it is called as a PDV work. Then pedal wheel work, another is flow work, and next one is the shaft work. So all this mechanical work we can understand easily. Say pedal wheel work, we will rotate with the help of mechanical energy, and it will impart some temperature to the system. The flow work is also we can understand as a work due to the any type of flow of the fluid. Then shaft work is also a mechanical work, but the work or by the displacement of the boundary, or simply a PDV work, it is quite confusing. So let's understand the displacement work or the work due to the moving boundaries. It is also called as a work due to moving boundaries, or simply the name is called as a PDV work. So let us understand with the help of a diagram. Say this is a simple piston cylinder assembly. Here this is the piston, and this is the boundary of this our system. This is the initial condition of the boundary, and as this is the in balance condition, so the work or the force on both the side of the piston are balanced. Now we will consider the force applied on this piston with the help of an free body diagram. As this is an in the equilibrium condition, the force must be in the equilibrium condition. Now we will first consider what is the force applied on the both the sides. Here let's suppose this gas have a pressure of P. So in this case the pressure or the force applied from the bottom side on the upward, which is nothing but the pressure into area of the piston. Let's suppose area of this piston is A. Now what is the downward force? Downward force is the gravitational force. Gravitational force is the weight of the piston itself. It is nothing but the m into g, mass plus weight force plus another force is let's suppose to balance we put some weight, some load, or a dead weight. So here the two force will apply from the top. First is the weight of the piston, another is the dead weight or the weight of the dead weight. So in this case what is the amount of piston or the weight of the piston? It is the mass of the piston times the gravitational acceleration plus dead weight. Let's suppose it is an weight of the load. So in this case as it is already we have considered it is in balance condition. So we can equate both this, say mp into g plus w into load equal to p into a. So this is the amount, this is the balance condition for the force. Now if we try to calculate the work done due to the small displacement when we allow this piston to move, let's suppose this weight is, or this dead weight is considered, is consist of a very small amount of amount of pieces, and if we remove the first slide or first piece which is very on the top, then the piston will rise from here to here. So let's say this distance is dx distance. So after removing this first slide or the top slide from the dead weight, the displacement is dx. So let's consider the work done after displacement of this piston. So work done is equal to, as per our basic definition, force into distance, force time distance, but here force is the resisting force. So for this, what is the resisting force? So we can write here the amount of small work done by the removing of the first slide, it is equal to the resisting force. So resisting force times the distance is dx here. Now what is the resisting force here? So resisting force here is nothing but the P into A, pressure into area. So pressure into area times dx. So we can say here P into area into dx is nothing but the volume. So it is dV. So by this way we can consider the del W, it is a P dV, and integration of this del W, it is simply an integration of P dV. So this is the amount of work, or PdV work, or simply a displacement work. So by this way we can consider, or we can calculate the PdV work or simply a displacement work. Thank you.